Just in, a federal judge has, not surprisingly, but legally and rightfully blocked Donald Trump's executive order that ends birthright citizenship for 14 days while it is in the process of being resolved by the courts. Let's hope that that it gets goes through correctly and doesn't become law, because this right here is not okay. Why did they block it? Well, let's get into that. This article is by NBC News, titled Federal District Court Judge Temporarily Blocks Trump's Birthright Citizenship Order. And the article reads, a federal district court judge on Thursday temporarily blocked President Donald Trump's executive order that aims at limiting birthright citizenship, the first skirmish in what promises to be a protracted legal battle over the new administration's agenda. The second paragraph to the article reads, Senior U.S. District Judge John C. Kukinor heard 25 minutes of arguments and then issued an order from the bench blocking Donald Trump's policy from taking effect for 14 days. There will be a further briefing on a preliminary injunction to permanently block the executive order while the case proceeds. The third paragraph to the article reads, quote, I've been on the bench for over 4 decades, Coffenor said, who is a Ronald Reagan appointee. Begin quote. I can't remember another case where the question presented is as clear as this one. This is blatantly unconstitutional order. The fourth paragraph to the article reads, the case comes as 4 states, Washington, Arizona, Illinois, and Oregon, sought to block the order before it is supposed to take effect in late February. It's one of 5 lawsuits filed by Democratic attorneys generals and immigrant right organizations challenging the order, which seeks to limit automatic birthright citizenship to children who were born in the U.S. as citizens and green card holders as unconstitutional. The Constitution's 14th Amendment has long been understood to grant automatic citizenship to anyone who is born in the on U.S. Soil except the children of foreign diplomats, an answer to the U.S. Supreme Court's 1875 Dred Scott decision, which held that people descended from slaves were not citizens. The amendment begins with the sentence, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the U.S. and of the state wherein they reside. Begin quote. President Trump and the federal government now seek to impose a modern version of Dred Scott. Lawyers representing the 4 states wrote in a court filing, begin quote, nothing in the Constitution grants the president, federal agencies, or anyone else authority to impose conditions on the grant of citizenship to individuals born in the U.S. If implemented, Trump's order would cause the plaintiff states to lose federal funding that supports programs like Medicaid and the Children's Health Insurance Program, CHIP for CHIP for short. The lawyers argue, in addition to the substantial finances losses, the state would have to immediately bear the burden of modifying their administration of those programs to account for the change, the lawyers added. Begin quote. Absent a temporary restraining order, children born in the plaintiff states will soon be rendered undocumented, subject to removal or detention, and many stateless, the lawyers argued. They will be denied their right to travel freely and re-enter the United States. They will lose their ability to obtain a Social Security number, or SSN for short, and work lawfully as they grow up. They will be denied their rights to vote, serve on juries, and run for certain offices, and they will be placed into positions of instability and insecurity, as part of a new presidentially created underclass in the United States. For the record, ladies and gentlemen, I do not agree with this executive unconstitutional order, which hopefully Donald Trump is impeached for. But I'm not going to hold my breath, but hopefully he is impeached for. because this is not okay and it should never have been a campaign promise, considering him to be a convicted felon and adjudicated insurrectionist. Continuing with the article. In their filings, Justice Department lawyers told Coffenor that the Birthright citizenship order is an integral part of Trump's efforts to address this nation's broken immigration system and the ongoing crisis at the southern border. Bull snarky, dude. Donald Trump is only doing this because it's Donald Trump, and he does not like the fact that we have birthright citizenship in the United States of America. Because Donald Trump is illegal, and he is evil. Not only does Trump have the authority to issue the order, they argue, but the states lack standing to sue based on their alleged economic harms. Begin quote. A third party, including a state, has no legally recognizable interest in the recognition of citizenship by the federal government of a particular individual, let alone the economic benefits or burden of that are wholly collateral to citizenship status. The Department of Justice litigator Brad Rosenberg wrote, while most of the Justice Department's filings focuses on technical arguments about why the states cannot sue, Rosenberg previews some of the arguments that could come into play as this and other cases move forward. How in the how in the Justice Department's view, courts have incorrectly interpreted the 14th Amendment for more than 100 years. Begin quote. Historical evidence shows that the children of non-resident aliens are subject to foreign powers and thus are not subject to the interdiction of the United States and are not constitutionally entitled to birthright citizenship, Rosenberg wrote. Ultimately, the case is likely to be appealed all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. A Justice Department spokesperson said Thursday that it will vigorously defend Trump's EO, which currently represents the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. We look forward to presenting a full merits argument to the court and to the American people. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. Before I close out the video, please do consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will talk to you guys in the next video, and I will keep you guys updated as soon as the information as more information about this matter comes available.